Welcome back everyone to our career mode gameplay of Formula One 2020. And in today's video, we're going to get started out doing a little bit of R&D. We're going to set up some activities. We're going to spend a little bit of money on some department upgrades as well. Top right hand corner of the screen, you can see we have $2.78 million. We also have 1,690 R&D points, and then our team acclaim is at level 4. We want to address all of those before our next race coming up at Vietnam. So let's first talk a little bit about our race number 1 of our both season as well as career. I learned a lot at that race, and I also feel like I need to clear up a few things, a few misconceptions that are my fault, I'm sure, from the first couple of videos. So I've been reiterating multiple times that I'm very much a beginner at the Formula One game series. However, I'm not new to Formula One, and that may have been something that I didn't make very clear. I've been watching Formula One forever. I watched Michael Schumacher win championships. I watched Vettel and Alonso come into the sport, win championships, and so on. I've seen all sorts of debacles, such as the U.S. Grand Prix, when at Indy, a lot of the teams didn't participate because of tires, and I've seen lots of stuff like that. I remember diffuser gate, when there was lots of issues with the new diffusers. They had changed regulations. I mean, a whole lot of stuff I've seen. I'm also familiar with how the races go. So for instance, in the very first race, when I asked you guys, is this how the AI generally race when they get stacked up like this? I didn't mean in the real life. I know how it goes in real life, unfortunately. I was wondering more about the game. Can I expect that week after week that the AI are just going to stack up 5, 6, 7 deep in some cases, which is exactly what happened to us at race number 1. So I mean, there are a lot of strategy things we can do to avoid that I'm very aware of, but for right now, I'm just trying to learn, and I can assure you, over the course of this gameplay, for those of you who are veterans to not only this game series, but are also much farther along into this year's game than I am, I'm going to make a lot of decisions that are going to baffle you. And the reason I'm doing that is because this is all about fun for me. I know in a lot of cases what the optimum decision is to make, but I'm not always going to go with that. In fact, most of the time might not go with that, simply because I want to explore some different avenues. I want to play it in a little different way that piques my interest and gives me the most fun. Getting to championships and winning races and scoring points and all that is important, but overall, the ultimate goal of the game is to have fun. So I'm going to do some different things, and so it's going to leave you scratching your head a lot of times, I'm sure, but it's all in the name of fun. That's what we're here for. So to get started off, let's go ahead and take a look at some activities. So we had a total, and we had room for about 3 activities here, just depending on how you work things through. And the ones I have chosen, I've already pre-filled those just to save us a little bit of time. And I chose a sponsor event for, as you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, a little bit of team acclaim. I'm trying to get us to level 5 on the team acclaim as quickly as possible, because that's going to get us another sponsor. And the more money we get, the more we can improve our team. Also, PR filming. I did this. It gives us a little bit of cash, but it's also about the driver a little bit. I try to stay away from that as much as I can. However, a little bit more driver acclaim can't be a bad thing. And then finally, I did the esports event simply to get a little bit more driver acclaim. Not exactly the choices I would prefer to go to, but it's what we had available for this time, and I'm looking forward to some different options before race number 3 on the season. So now let's move ahead to our facilities. And of course, we're looking good on aerodynamics, and it's going to take quite a bit of money before we can afford to do any upgrades there. I'm particularly happy about the weekly resource points being at 60 there. I want to get that up in a lot of different places as quickly as I can. More resource points mean more R&D and quicker R&D ultimately for us down the road. But again, we're talking, I'm building a team for several seasons down the road, not necessarily what is going to get us there the quickest. I'm looking at some things maybe for the chassis or durability. Durability is probably going to be a big thing because, well, I'm prone to running into some things, particularly right now. Other cars, and hopefully not running into any walls, but who knows? Durability is probably going to be an issue before too long for us without some significant upgrades. So what I think I want to do here, 2.78 million, we should have enough to comfortably upgrade one of these. So I think I'm going to simply go with the chassis right now. And I'm not terribly worried about the speed, such as the build time or even the quality control. We've already been bit by that bug one time with the failure chance, but I'm not terribly worried about that right now. What I'm going to go with right now, I think, is the resource point generation. And then I'm looking toward maybe the fabrication next, but not so much for chassis. I'm looking for that more for maybe another of the departments. So I'm going to go resource point generation, spend a little money there. That's going to get us up to, okay, now we are at a different level there. That's an upgrade that I am very much looking forward to having. All right, so that spends a little bit of money. Now let's head over to R&D and let's see what we got. So nothing in progress. We finished up on a little bit of aerodynamics. So if we zoom in here, we did the front wing main flap. So that was, it's a minor upgrade. We haven't gotten to any of the major upgrades just yet. In fact, if I back out a little bit, if you look in the bottom right-hand corner under part impact key, so you've got three different shapes there. Obviously, the ultimate is going to give us our biggest bang for the buck, but we're not near those yet. Same thing for the majors. Those are going to be a big performance boost for us, but we're not quite to those yet either. So right now we're trying to take care of some of these minor upgrades. And this time, I think it makes the most sense for us to do the rear wing main plane. And that's going to start to open up some additional upgrades and ultimately get us to some of these major and ultimate upgrades. But again, we're a little bit from that. So 525 points for this. Let's go ahead and develop that. 27% failure chance. Again, not particularly happy about that, but we'll have to address that at a later date. Okay, estimated part delivery is the 7th of April, which I'm pretty sure from the previous screen was after our next Grand Prix, but we'll take another look at that as well. Also at the bottom of the screen, you notice build time decreased by 6%, failure chance decreased by 3%, and that's all about morale of the aerodynamic department, which is good for us. We want to get that morale high and keep it high for them, because that's where I really want to concentrate a lot of our early upgrades as we start moving forward. But I got to tell you, I am loving this R&D tree. I want to do all of these. But unfortunately, we are lacking time and resource points to do so. So now let's move on to, let's see, what can we do with durability? What options are here for that? Durability, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, we are at the very bottom on durability. I do want to increase that. Where are we on the chassis? Actually, not too bad. There are several below us on there, as we already have a few upgrades there. Okay, so I'm going to leave the chassis alone. What about powertrain? Again, we're sort of mid-pack, just below mid-pack on that. So really, it's all about aero for us right now. And I believe durability is a good area for us to try to boost. So let's take a quick glimpse here. So what is this going to give us? All right, so we're going to get some arrivals at different times for general durability, it looks like. Okay, those are going to be nice. What about this? Gearbox durability, the ICE, okay. Turbo, okay, so what is this going to do for us? It doesn't look like it's a lot, but I do think I want to make this happen. So can we go ahead and develop that? I don't like the 40% failure chance, but again, those are things we'll have to work on down the road. All right, let's go ahead and develop that upgrade. Okay, now we back out. We've got 665. Anything we can deal with here? We've got minor engine power upgrade we can do, 525. I do like that. So I like that. What if we do that? Again, 40% failure chance. Okay, again, not great. Let's go ahead and do that as well. So we're going to try to use these points as we get them and try to get these upgrades flowing. But again, my major area of concentration is going to be primarily aero first. And then we'll use our points as best we can after that. But we definitely need to get some aero up and going. All right, so R&D in progress. We got some minor upgrades there. Progress history, everybody's pretty much at the same slot right now. Now, our wear and tear on all of these components, I'm going to have to get into that a little bit more as time goes on. But for right now, we're using all the same components, and then I'll just have to learn about that as we go. So the big thing here as we move over to corporate, we've got sponsorships. I want this sponsorship opened up. I want more weekly income. That's going to open up more upgrades. But for right now, I believe we've done everything that we need to do. And all right, so let's go back to advanced time. And I think we're all set. So I don't see anything as far as parts upgrade. Oh, I do see a chassis upgrade there. That's nice on the 28th. And I'm just going to let this thing run. All right, there we go. More team building, more weekly resources. Attend the event. Okay, not bad at all. We're back up to 1.18 million. We've got 300 research points, and we're still at the level 4 of acclaim for the team. Now, Vietnam. This is going to be an interesting track. You can see it's got a couple of very long straights, one extremely long straight. In fact, I think it might be either the longest straight in F1 or close to it. So a lot of work to be done there. I can't wait to get started. So I'll see you guys at the track.
Southeast Asia once more as we usher in a new era and get ready to go racing here in Vietnam. It's a track that combines the bespoke design of a traditional race circuit with the tight, close barriers of a street track that our drivers race on today. 23 corners and a total distance of 3.4 miles. Watch out in particular for overtaking into the braking zone at turn 11. And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today.
Yeah, we can see Lewis down there on pole position, something he's very used to, of course, but he'll have to get his elbows out to maintain that into the first corner. Besides that, of course, any kind of turn 1 incident could completely turn the race on its head. Let's keep our fingers crossed everyone can get through in one piece.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Verstappen, Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, and Lance Stroll, Perez, Gasly, Esteban Ocon, and Kvyat, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Kevin Magnussen, and George Russell, Alesi, Grosjean, Latifi, and the rookie. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
All right, folks, it is time to get started. So a couple of adjustments that I mentioned we would talk about at race time. Number 1, I have increased the AI difficulty up to 80. We raced our first race on 70, now we're up to 80. We will be starting the race at the back of the grid. That was entirely my fault based on our qualifying lap. I'm doing all or nothing qualifying rather than the stages. So that was entirely my fault. We shouldn't be quite this far back, but overall I think 80 is going to work well for this race. I'm hoping our teammate does well. That'll give me an indication of kind of where we are on the grid because he's not an extremely good driver. I'm definitely not a good driver. So that'll give me another opportunity to learn a little bit more. Of course, turn 1, lap 1 is always a complete disaster, whether it's real people that you're racing against or AI, so I'm going to take it very careful there. As far as driving aids, I have turned off a few things, most of them not really significant because I don't use them anyway, such as the replay system, or I forget exactly what they call it, but the ability for me to rewind time and redo an area. Never use that anyway, so I went ahead and just turned it off. And then also I've turned off the anti-lock brakes, so no more of that. And so you're going to see me, I'm sure, locking up the brakes into some of these corners, but that's part of the fun is managing that. And if I do a terrible job at it, we'll have to make extra pit stops. So I'm very excited about the possibilities for today's race. Let's get started. All right, race is about to begin. My goal right here is just to survive. I'm going to take some different lines, especially for these first couple laps, as I try to figure out what the AI are going to do. And basically just try to stay out of the way. I mean, these guys are basically coming to a stop here. Yes, we had a collision there. I think there's a guy on the outside there. So I'm going to try to give him room. Hopefully he will give me room as well. Wow, not a whole lot of room here. Yeah, he's not giving me any room. So this is going to be fun. So Grosjean did not give me anything to work with. Haven't had any issues pop up. Let's see. Trying to read some of these messages as best I can while we're, you know, at speed. Yeah, this lap 1 has been about as I expected. Alright, these guys seem to be starting to get single file. The car, of course, is not liking this dirty air. Nor would I expect it to. Great to hear that Hamilton's got the fastest lap, since we still had a few corners to go there. All right, there we go. Let's see if we can't calm these things down a little bit. 14 laps total. Plenty of time to make some moves if we have the speed to do so. Thank you very much to Grosjean for giving me a little bit of room there. I figured that was as good a spot as any.
Nice move.
Alright, so now let's see if we can maintain this. Again, don't see any damage warnings yet, even though we did have a little bit of contact on a couple of corners in lap 1. But again, part of the fun of this...
Power from the engine is going to be down slightly. It's showing some minor wear.
Alright, engine power down, okay. Kind of expected that going into the race. Again, just another one of those things I'm trying to learn. Be very careful through this area. Since I'm in the dirty air, I don't have quite all of the aero grip I would like to have.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the ICE. Be aware that we will start to see a loss of power.
Alright, so everything's going to start to wear out.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Pulling out a second lap on the car behind.
Alright, so right now is going to be our next good opportunity to pass. Nope. It's going to be too quick there. Alright, of course, this is going to be our big opportunity to pass. But we're going to have to see what he's going to give us. Will he give us any room whatsoever? Alright, I took this side since that's what he gave me. Alright, give him some room. Alright, so that didn't quite work out, but we got through there in one piece. Obviously would have preferred him give me the other side. Grabbed the wrong gear there. Alright, I seem to have better pace. Of course, this is killing my tires and brakes and everything, trying to be this close to this guy and not be able to pass him, so we just have to make do as best we can.
2.1 seconds.
Oh, that's a lot more curving than I meant to take, but we survived. No penalties, no issues there, but yeah, that was definitely not the route I was planning on taking
Gap
through
to
there.
car in front is 2.3 seconds.
Alright, so far so good. I'm still at the point in this game where I'm just waiting for something bad to happen. I'm waiting for those parts that are wearing out. I'm waiting for them to
A
break.
new strategy is available on the MFD.
Oh, look out. So that's the good and the bad part of that area of the track. The good part is we get to pass people there. The bad part is they get to pass us back. Oh, look out. Overcooked it.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Alright, so now, job number one, which we might be able to take care of before our pit stop, is to see if we can get back by Grosjean. Trying to stay right with him as best I can. So obviously this is going to be a great opportunity for us. Let's see what he does. Alright, so he's not going to give me the inside. Smart decision for him. Alright, that was my best shot. So we're coming up on first pit stop here. First, in the next lap or two. Gotta love this dirty air, changing everything about how the car handles. So I would say they've nailed that pretty good. And I'm definitely feeling that. Alright, I really wish I could get close enough right here to make this move. Not gonna happen. Go ahead and back out of it just a little bit early. So all in all, not too bad considering everything going against us right now in this race. We've got me as a driver, which is certainly not helping anything. Oh, he didn't want to give me any room there.
Nice work, that brings you up a place.
Alright, so you're going to give me room? He didn't want to concede the spot. I don't blame him. He's seen me drive. Cooked that corner too.
Box. We're coming in this
All
lap.
right, here we go. Not too bad. So breaking this race directly in half. Car overall feels pretty good, aside from the dirty air and all that kind of stuff that we're dealing with. Looks like we've got some speed. You can see we pulled away from the two guys behind us. Just got so much work to do in this game, and as I've said before and will continue to say, it's just so much fun and so enjoyable to know I've got so much work to do. Because it means I've got goals that I can set for myself to get better over time in this game.
The gap to the car ahead is 1.9 seconds.
Now I got to remember where pit entry is. Haven't run a ton of laps at this track, and certainly haven't done a whole lot of pit entry. All right, there we go. We'll let the AI take over and work our way through our pit stop. So again, I would have to say so far so good. We made a couple of passes, got past a couple of times, and otherwise not too bad. We'll see how the progression works with the parts wearing out. Ooh, look at pit road. It is a very busy place.
Exit now.
All right, there we go. Wow, that is awfully close to that wall. Now the question is,
That was our last stop. No more
where
scheduled
am
pit
I going
stops.
to get control of this car? Right about there. All right, so we're on the mediums this time. We'll have to see how that works with the folks around us after the cycle completes. It might be about complete already. Get the feel of these medium tires. Trying to establish a rhythm, get some braking markers and all that kind of thing. So it looks like, let's see, we're back in last place. All right, not a terrible surprise there. Right now I'm hoping it's actually somewhat to do with the pit cycle. It's always nice to have at least a few guys behind you to help the old self-esteem.
Giuliano is coming in for his stop.
So that's another thing I really love about this whole teammate thing and being part of a team. I don't feel like I'm in charge of everything, and I love that. Trying to take it very easy in that last corner until I get a lot more laps around this place.
That's P19. You have P19.
Teammate directly in front of us. That's pretty awesome. All right, so everything works out pretty close to where it was before the cycle started. Although I'm pretty sure our teammate lost a spot or two because I don't remember him being the next car in front of it.
The car behind you has just fitted the hard tyres. Car behind, running hards.
Alright, so Grosjean is on hard tires. Our job right now is to catch our teammate. I did get an interview, my very first interview in the game after qualifying, after my horrendous showing in qualifying. And of course there were no good options there because they wanted to know why I was so terrible. So probably should have gotten a warning there for clipping that curb a bit much. All right, we're getting closer. 0.8. All right, we're there, essentially. We're plenty close enough that we're going to start to feel a lot of that dirty air. I'm going to try to give these guys a little bit of room in the braking zones here, since we're definitely not going to be passing them in any of these. This could get interesting with our teammate. Can we get a line on him? Of course, he's got a line on the guy in front of him. All right, let's see what happens here. Hopefully he makes that clean. Ooh, there's a block there. You heard me get out of it much quicker. I didn't want any part of that block he was getting ready to throw me. There's that dirty air, cooked it. Ooh, that's not good for the engine. Oh, we got a great run on Russell there. Yep, cooked it on entry.
We
You can
have
see the
5
tire
laps
there.
of fuel remaining.
Trying to give him some room. Now I need to get away from it. We need to put him way behind us so that he doesn't have DRS. Gonna need a lot more laps before I figure out that carousel area there. All right, so we need to use the DRS to pull closer to our teammate, mostly because we need to get away from, I believe it's Russell behind him. Rear tires are holding together pretty good in this race. Even on the tires that we just took off, wasn't too bad. All right, let's see if we get anything for our teammate. Doesn't look like it. Oh, wait a minute. Don't hit us. Same team, same team. He's gonna love this move. You gotta love it. The deal with the AI seems to be about like it is in most
The car in
games.
front is 1.9 seconds.
If you can race them one-on-one, ooh, there's a little bit loose on the throttle. But the deal with the AI seems to be that if you get them one at a time, you're fine. All right, let's see if he's going to blow by us when he gets back to us. If he does, I'm going to try to give him as much room as possible. I have no interest in wrecking our teammate. Love the look of that car, though. Looking in my rearview mirror. All right, now we need to pull away from him.
There's 3 laps of fuel remaining.
Well, hopefully that's enough to last us to the checkered flag. When he's telling me we're running out of fuel, that is certainly not what I want to hear. Saw the guy in front of me lock up there. Oh yeah, now those rear tires are starting to go. Alright, so I have to be mindful of that, otherwise we'll put it in the fence and our race will be over a little bit early. We've only got a couple of trips around left. I just soon get our finish, then put it in the fence, so we'll see how this goes. Very conservative through that corner that time. All right, we seem to be pulling away a little bit from our teammate. 2.5 seconds on him right now. Doesn't look like we're going to have enough time to catch Magnussen in front of us. Trying to really baby those rear tires coming out of there. This is a really fun part of the track. I'm not particularly good at it. It is quite a bit of fun. Oh, look out. Love it.
This is your
Absolutely love
final
it.
lap. Final lap of the race.
All right, final lap. Ooh, we had very good braking there. Well, that was not a good set of corners. Doesn't look like it's going to matter though, because our teammate's not really pulling us, not really getting any closer to us. Again, trying to be very conservative through here. Anywhere that I've had any issues at all with rear grip coming out of the corner, just trying to be very cognizant of that. Just trying not to loop it. All right, so the race winner has already crossed the line. That's just there to make me feel even worse about myself. That's what the game puts that there for. So it looks like before our next race, we're going to need to swap out some parts or repair them, or however that process works. And just something else I got to learn about the game. Ooh, look out. All right, we'll baby it across the line. So not bad. I had quite a bit of fun there. Learned some more.
Take care of the car on the way in.
So 18th, started dead last, passed a few cars, and we'll come home in the 18th position. So Ocon, not too bad.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was.
Indeed, I agree. Great race.
Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
All right, so Bottas brings home the victory.
We can now see
Here is your podium, and one of these days,
once again,
we'll be up there.
Probably
not going to be anytime soon, but that makes it all the more worth it when we finally do get there. All right, so can I skip by this screen? As wonderful as this screen is, it's not us up there. So not as much fun to look at. All right, so what do we get? We're on current tier 4. Okay. All right, so we don't get anything. No surprise there.
Let's review the driver's standings. Well, the gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
Carlos Sainz would be my first choice for this race. He had
Carlos
excellent
Sainz,
race
all right,
stamina,
so
giving him the opportunity to charge through the ranks. I know that's at odds with the official decision, but I
okay,
think
not
they
too
deserve
bad. He
some
was 7th on the
recognition
grid,
a day
moved
where
up
both of
1.
these drivers are at the top of their game.
It's time to
So
check out the
Ocon
constructors'
went from
standings.
13th to
Mercedes
9th.
continue to extend their lead. There was also
There's
a strong
Lando
showing
Norris,
from the McLaren
who
team
unfortunately
today
lost
as
a
they
few
make their way
spots.
up the standings.
But
It's
you can
been
see
an
there's a few
absolutely
people that made up a
wild
few
weekend of
spots.
Formula One
But
action.
as is normal
I
with
can't
Formula
wait to
1,
see
not a
what's
whole lot of
next.
changes going on, aside from any mistakes that are made or retirements in the race. So we passed both of the Williams and one of the Haas cars, and we were immediately behind the second Haas car. Okay, so that puts us right about where I would think. So if we make a few more adjustments to the car, a few more improvements through R&D, then maybe we can get up around this 13th to 15th level. And of course, all along the way, I got to make a lot of improvements to my driving style. But I finished right there with my teammate. So that makes me feel good about this level 80 of difficulty. And hopefully in the future, we can slowly work our way up through the field. So let's go ahead and advance.
Great work out there today.
Oh, there we go. Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. Thank you for asking me a nice question. So let's see. It was great. Car was sticking to the track. Power advantage. Nimble and light. Okay, so this is going to give us car was sticking to the track. Let's go with, I'm working on the aero, so I'm actually going to go with our car was nimble and light. Let's make the chassis department happy.
It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it?
It wasn't the cleanest. Well, it was actually much cleaner than I thought it was going to be. Let's see. Oh, I like this one. I was an idiot magnet. I like that. Let's go with none of us wants to back down. All right.
Great. Well, that's everything.
All right. Thank you very much. So 2 questions, and we'll see how I did on my answers. We moved up 1 level on a claim. So we're at 3 right now. Our teammate is at 5. And overall, okay, we're at, did we just reach level 5 as a team? Is that what that was? Again, still trying to figure out all this stuff. So did we complete a total of 10 laps? Of course we did. And we'll come home with 80 grand. A little bit of damage deductions there. I love that that's in the game. All right, so a total 1.75 million right now in the bank. Let's go ahead and advance, and this should take us back to, taking us back to Team HQ. So this has been a very fun race. It's a lot of tight and twisty parts of the track, which was my first opportunity to really get in to some of those. Race number 1 in the season really didn't have as much of that. It was much more of a wide open type of track. So the tight and twisty parts were a lot of fun. Can't wait for our next race. Looks like the Dutch Grand Prix will be in our next video. Thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Formula 1 2020.